Good morning, traders. This is Rose. Welcome. It's Friday, August 26th. It's 9 a.m. Eastern Time. All right. Last Friday of the summer before the Labor Day holiday. So we will get some volatility. We already have. You can see the bars are going pretty strong due to the two news events came out around 8:30 a.m. the international trading goods and then the personal income and outlay at 8:30, which is a big deal. But today is Jackson Hole Economic Symposium, so we're going to have Jerome Powell start to speak at 10 a.m. and I mean, they're going to be talking a lot about the rates. So you may want to be careful. Fridays we do get some good news. Like, we got a really nice move yesterday, which I'm going to go back to that chart shortly. But I wanted to talk about what's happening overall. We have a bullish channel. We now have a broader channel, okay? But we do have quite a bit a strong bear move down. Now, that doesn't make us extremely bearish, but if you look at the daily chart, we do have on the daily chart, we have 7 bars downwards. So this could be just a minor pullback. We could come down a little bit, but on the 4-hour chart, I marked these areas on Monday, and I went over this chart with you, and I said, price is coming down. At that time, we were up here, and I said, we're going to test this trend line, and we will probably going to breach below it, but buyers are here. So I actually bought there, and I took profit at the trend line, and it came down from trend line briefly, but no bear bars on the 4-hour chart. And I said, if we do get above that trend line, if we do not sell, if we do get above it, we have inverse head and shoulders here that we're probably going to go test a little bit higher. And you can see this is a breakout level. This 4-hour bar is a breakout for bears. So we're trying to get up there. We could also test a little bit higher, 05, 42, 05, 25, 050. Yeah, I mean, we're almost there. It's just a point away. So there might be some sellers there, or a little bit higher because we got some gaps going on, but we will come back. Now, what's happening here is that bulls want to keep going up, right? This is a trading range on the 4-hour. And just like yesterday, right? So we had a very interesting day yesterday. But before I go through bar by bar, I want to go through the the monthly bar, and yesterday it was a lot more prominently doji, but now it's got a much bigger bull body, if you have noticed. Now on the weekly, that is not a good sell bar. I mean, we did sell, and I said we're going to test. When we were selling, I said we're going to test with this weekly bar the 200 moving 200-day moving average, and we did. We have a double bottom there, and now we bounce significantly to the upside. There's a gap here that the bulls want to close that gap with last week's low and close. You can see right there, last week's low, 20, 42.20. 42.20 happens to be also the 2022's midpoint, okay, halfway back. And that seems to be on the daily charts. It's becoming a magnet, okay? And we were there, we broke down, and we bounced there before. So if I actually extend this, go. So you can see we were support, came down, use it as support, then we became resistance, right? We went up and underneath and more resistance, but we finally go back up. We try to use it as support, but look what we're doing. We're oscillating around that price. Now, bulls want to go and test that, right? The problem here is that this right here, this leg. So if bears want to sell this, we could go up there and we could sell again. And then I would look for maybe a double bottom again because we're in some kind of trading range here, okay? So what the bulls want is that they want to keep going up and get above this midpoint and go and test the 200-day moving average again, and maybe test the August 16 high. August 16 high is important because it's basically the top of the trading range, but it's also where the liquidity was before. But the most important price level is actually the April 18. April 18 is a breakout point, okay? And we need to test that. So if the bulls actually keep buying and buying, we're not so far from this area, this gap close. So if we do close that gap, we could use that as support. We could continue to go up. Now, that would be a lot of buying. We're probably not going to do that, but next week could be also continuation for bulls, okay? But it looks like the bulls want to close that gap today, but I'm going to be watching that because we could sell from there, okay, first, and then maybe try to go up again. So bulls want to get going to these levels. Bears want some kind of double top or a resistance here and then sell down. And if we do sell, if we get a resistance right at that gap close, just like yesterday I explained, if this becomes resistance, okay, that also becomes possible right shoulder for this head and shoulder with a neckline right there. And if we break that neckline, we could quickly come down to 4,000-3,900. We will be stopping right around here, even if we just extend that selling. But bears want to bring this all the way down to these lows, okay, and they want to test these lows again. I think we're way far away from that, but bulls want to keep going up to the 4,300, okay, area. First breach above the 42. And then if they cannot find buyers there, they can't continue, possible resistance, come back down to the support, will most likely to break that support, come back to here, bounce tad little bit, and then come back down. That will give us 1 pullback, 2 pullback, 3 wedge into this buy zone. And I would love to be a buyer right there because that is going to bounce big time. But we're far, far away from it. So right now, short term, I'm looking for bullishness to close this gap right there. Okay, so let's take a look at the daily. I do need to adjust this now. Globex session is extending. Okay, so on the daily, I'm sorry, not daily, 5-minute chart. I'm looking at the last week's Friday. So this is last week's Friday, last week's close right there. And Friday's low right here. That's the close. That's the Friday's low. Then Monday, we gapped down. We continued in Tuesday, and then we started to rotate upwards. Okay, so we made a cup, a rounded bottom with a pullback. That was the first pullback. So it's like almost like a frying pan. This is not really a cup. So, but we did break out, but now we have a cup. And I said yesterday, this is double top. And if we do have a handle, I'm going to look for some kind of trap there for bears. And this was a perfect trap. You can see the trap right there, right? So here's the leg down. Bears are trying once, trying twice, and completely trapped there. And you have a channel. And then we go and test that. We cannot sell. Once we get above that, we're going to keep going up and up and up. And basically what the bulls want, they want to take this and project it up. So, and I'm not doing a good job here, but you can measure it. So if I actually measure this, I'm going to go from here to here. So that is the measured move, okay? But you can, I'm not taking that high because breakout happened there, or you can take that. Or this is your earlier, the conservative measured move target, which we're heading towards. But before then, okay, we do have the month of August halfway back, okay, is right there. I marked it ahead of time, so it's on the chart. That's a magnet. But let's talk about yesterday. Okay, so the day prior to that was Wednesday, was some kind of a trading range day. It was really a trending trading range, I should say, or it was bullish and came back down, but we really were in a trading range. So we opened within that range in the morning, and once the bears sold that first bar, I said, if the second bar is a continuation, we could come down and perhaps test that, or test this area, might even test that. But look what happened. Bar 2 is not a continuation, bear bar. So it's a failed follow through. And immediately you get this. And to me, that's enough. You can actually buy above it. You would want to put your stop. If you do put your stop here, it could be dangerous because we could come back again. So you would put your stop here, and you're trying to go 1-to-1, right? But the risk is big. So you can wait for a couple of bars and see if there's actually a bullish breakout. So that was the first entry long, and that's the second entry long, right? First buy, bar 4 is the second buy, and then you get a breakout. Then you can say, listen, I didn't buy in this bar's range because you don't know what will happen. You're buying into this trading range high, and if you're spooked about it, then that's fine. Wait for a breakout bar. You get a breakout bar, but we never pulled back. That became buy to close. Bulls are very strong. So you get your measured move target immediately. That's your 1-to-1. Or if I take that, that's your 1-to-1. Okay. Now, and then I said, well, what if I take this, right? So what if this is my, and that was actually the 1-to-1. We came literally 1 or 2 tick close at that time. Yeah, no, it was only 1 tick close. We were 1 tick to the target, started the front run. Okay, so it was perfect measured move. And so you could have bought above here, or you would buy that. You would buy this, right? But you do have to count. You got 1. Now you have 2, right? So we need pullbacks. Bar 8, at that time, I said bar 8 is a pullback bar. The body didn't even close below the prior bar 7's low. So chances are, I said, buyers are waiting below that bar. They're going to buy the pullback bars 8. So either they're going to buy underneath, they're going to buy close, they might even buy above, but they're going to buy it. There are even buyers waiting at the high stop order entry long, and they bought it. So now you have third push, right? So, or you could say, wait a minute, this is a breakout, too strong. Then I said to you guys, well, start to count. This is your first push, perhaps second push, and another third push, right? So I'm still waiting for some kind of wedge to form. You know, we at that time, you know, we had, I said this is still a trading range, and then trading range highs that probably sellers are waiting. And I was measuring, and I said, be careful here. I like to see continuation, but because it's a trend has to go into some kind of trading range. So I said, we could go into a trading range. I'm going to look for bear bars, and I'm going to look for 20 plus bars to the EMA. If we can make a trading range, we could perhaps look to buy at the EMA with a 2-legged or 10-bar 2 legs to the EMA. But that buy signal never came in. Bar 20 tested it. So I said at that time, I think we're going to test the below a little bit more, maybe with 3 bars. We might even get a close, but I'm looking for bars clinging to the EMA and then maybe just go back up. But then I started to say, well, these bars are strong. I did sell below bar 15, and I took profit 5-10 points to the EMA, and I was done. I was really looking forward to buying again and testing the highs, and I really wanted to keep going up and up. But this bar made it a little bit difficult for bulls to continue up. If this bar was a small, maybe a doji, maybe a smaller bear bar, but not as big as that one. But this wasn't the only reason why we stopped here. Okay, so this was the reason. At the highs, okay, you got bears waiting. Okay, also right here, you see this? This is an SR Phillip line. So support, resistance, flip. Resistance, I'm sorry, the support became resistance. So when we get there, this all here is a couple of bear bars. Think of this as a bear leg. So somewhere here, okay, we've got bears waiting, right? So and finally, they show up right above the open of the week, and we have wedge. We have also a bigger wedge, 1, maybe 2, and 3, okay, or 1, 2, and 3. So we have several different wedges lined up there, and they started to sell. I did say, watch out, because this looks like now a head and shoulders pattern, okay? And if we start to actually close bear bars below the EMA, it is possible that we could get a gap bear bar, and we could start to sell. And I will sell that. I said I would love to sell it, but I need to see it. So you've got a gap bar, 21 is, you know, it's the 80% of its body is below the EMA. And then you get another bar open. I actually sold the close of bar 21. And then I said, I'm going to keep selling this, but I'm also aware of, okay, the gap from there to there, okay? Buyers are here, especially as it gets closer to this area, okay? And if I'm selling, I'm going to look to buy back my shorts. And I'm going to look to buy with 10 bars and 2 legs reversal to the EMA, and if they get it. But I also said I'm looking for maybe another bear flag gapping down, and then we have another push down maybe to this, okay, bar. I marked that bar. I don't know if you guys saw it, but you can go back to the Discord and look at the charts that I posted. And we never came and tested that bar, okay? We went up 10 bars and 2 legs, 10 bars and 2 legs, and we made a Marco double top, and I said, okay, this looks like a lot like a bear flag to me, and I think it's better to sell because this is too much of a sell. And when you get too much of a sell like this, okay, it's a bad price action, right? So it's too quick, too fast, and too big. I mean, it took out literally the 70–80% of this leg up. So you got a big up, big down, you know, confusion, some kind of a trading range until it's no longer a trading range. But right now we're bearish, and a move like this most likely to get continuation. So I said, I'm looking for a bear flag. I want to sell this. Obviously, bar 24 is a 23 and 24 is a 2-bar reversal. So I said, I didn't buy that 24. And right around that time, L arrived, and then he kicked me out. And he came back and he said the same thing. He's like, I didn't buy 24. He said, okay, good. So I did the right thing, not buying that 24. Because if you're buying, you need to expect some kind of minor reversal anyway, okay? Whether it's 3 bars, 5 bars, whatever it is, you're not going to go too far unless this is a V-shape recovery. Now, bar 24 scared the bears because is that a V-shaped recovery? Now, when a bar gets this big, I don't like to buy it. So if it was like maybe 3 bars, 3 bull bars, okay, stacking up like this, then I would expect another leg, really strong bull. That would probably have had some kind of, higher potential of a V-shaped recovery, but that didn't happen. Look what happened with the 24 and 25. You get bar 24 and then you get bar 25 like that at Doji. That's telling you right there, okay, that was a good try for, bulls, but it just fizzled out, 25 is not a good continuation. It's not a good follow through. So you know this move is just a counter move, okay, minor move up to the key price, and it's probably going to fail there. So I said to you guys, if you're not sure where it can fail and you cannot see because these bars are gapping down and stacking, lower your time frame, okay? Lower your time frame and look for clues. Where were the pauses in between, okay, these bear legs down? All right, so there's one right there, but I can't see another gap. So, okay, maybe 2 is not the right way. So I'm just going to go to the 2 minute, but I'm never going to go to 1 minute. 1 minute is just a mess. So this was a lot better, and that's when I told you guys that this right here is a resistance that I'm interested. There's one right there, okay? That right there. That right there. These are support resistance, right? And then I said, you see this imbalance? That's the first target, the first thing, this climactic move down. In general, the top of the climactic move where it starts is a target, okay? That's where the bulls are going to want to close it unless they can break these lows and sell with some kind of measured move down, or, you know, bear flag targets, which I put on the chart, but I said I'm also going to look for some kind of, okay, bear trap here because we have 1 pullback, 2 pullback, 3, okay? We're going to test that. That's the target. If we do get above this trend line coming down, which we did, came back with 3 push, 1, 2, and 3 wedge, and we never broke below it, so we're now buying again. Chances are we're going to go up here, right? So I said, this is a trap, guys, and traps are generally like this, right? Spike, pullback, comes in, right? Bears are trying to sell, and then finally it fails, goes up to spike, pullback channel. It's probably going to come back down. It's going to try to sell again, but it fails around here. Now I'm going to look for a higher low, and I'm going to look to go. And I started to say, I want to sell this, and I did sell this double top, but I'm also watching this because we could get trapped right here. I sold it, I took profit, and then I realized, wait a minute, same thing happened here is happening right here. We are not able to break that low, right? So you got maybe 1, 2, 3 push, or 1, 2, 3 push, and a double bottom. Okay, so here we go, trap, right? Another bear flag forming, but I said this is now becoming a bull flag. We've got a micro double top, but this is also another trap. So I said I'm done, and I started to, okay, hold on, guys. I started to look for, I don't think I sold this. I didn't sell it. I wanted to sell it, but I was looking for something to eat, but it was a lot more defined on the 5 minutes. So let me get to the 5 minutes so you can see what I saw there as a trap, and then I ended up buying. So here we go. So I saw this trap, right? And I did not sell this. I did say that it has a potential of becoming a bear flag, but you need a consecutive 2 bear closes below the bar 24. If we cannot get that, the only thing that the bears are going to be able to do is to test the support that I actually said that we would want to test because their buyers are waiting there. You do have a wedge there, right? 1, 2, and 3, right? 1, 2, and 3, right? So spike, pullback channel, that failed, also wedge. So we're definitely going to go up there. And the buyers did show up. So finally, market did pull back inside that buy zone, and that was perfect. You could have entered there with a stop maybe underneath, wide stop underneath 2, or maybe right here, or maybe right there. I don't care. But the signal bar for you to go long was basically bar 41 and 42. So I bought that, okay, immediately. My stop was here, and that was my 1-to-1, but really this is how I measured. As soon as we started to take out these highs and we made the 1-to-1, we start to go above these levels. I moved the stop underneath 4-to-1, 4T1, bar 4T1, and I started looking for 2-to-1, and I keep posting those charts because this is what I was trading. 3-to-1, and I said, watch out, we're going to test the 3.5. It's important because if we cannot close above 3.5, chances are we're going to come back down with a pullback. But you're selling against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bar bull bar channel. Chances are we're not going to go far. So we're making possibly a bull flag right there. And I said, this is going to rally, and this is going to end up becoming a bull rally, and we're going to go up to here, right? So now I have 4-to-1, right? And it kept going. I think we went up to like 8-to-1. That was actually 8.5, and we couldn't continue no more than that. That was 8.5. I think, yep, we couldn't do 9, but who cares? I mean, look where we ended up going. We came so close to the August mid-level, right, before the close. Or you could say, well, what if I just measure the measured move? And you probably won't get it because it's so late in the day. If there was enough time, we would have probably gone there. But if you use this, okay, I would not take that wick, so I'm going to keep it like that. Or you could take here, doesn't matter. Look where we ended up coming down. So however you measure, okay, so you can also say, well, what if I take this? This is a measured move. Well, that was an early measured move, but then this would be your measured move right there. Now look at that. That would have been a lot more accurate and would give you enough time to take profit and get out. Or you could say, well, what if I take this as measured move? I wouldn't do that because breakout happened here. If you do take that, this is where your stop goes. This is where you need to take profit, okay? So when you're extending for bigger targets, just be reasonable, okay, if you don't want to be stuck. But this would have been your measured move, okay? So that's that. It was a nice rally. We were reaching, but it had to end up because bar 78, actually with bar 76, you're getting continuation, right? You also have, even if you missed all of this, but you see this 3 bars, 74, 75, and 76, you got a gap bars for me, right? You got a huge gap. So you can actually measure your scalp target by using those 3 bars and looking for continuation into the 4,250. You take profit there, you don't linger because it's probably going to collapse. And plus, it's bar 78. Anytime after bar 77 or after bar 76, you have institutions jumping in. If they've been buying, they're probably going to start taking profit into the close, and they're going to reverse it. And look how far we are from the EMA. So it was a very good day yesterday. Deep pullbacks. You could say, hey, this is a broader channel. Yeah, sure. I mean, call it what it is. I don't care. So if this is a channel, right, can you take it like that? I don't see any of that. I could say, well, this is a channel that I would probably measure like this. Okay? But then you're expecting a break the midline and come all the way down. Now, we did break that, but then we trapped everybody right around here, right at that high, right? So we never came down here. So what now? We're probably going to go now, once that we move above that midline, we're probably going to go test that, right, high. Or you could say, is this the channel? Now what? Okay, so here we go. I'm going to take that. Can we come down? Well, if we trap the bulls, there is that possibility that we could quickly actually come down. right? So I'm going to take maybe like that. Try to just about. So we could continue to push up a little bit, possible. And then if we are still in this channel, right? So it's 1, 2, and 3. We could trap the bears and we could come down. But the problem here is that we have a really nice room if we close above August mid-level, the month of August. We have a gap here in between these two, okay, green lines. That's the last week's Friday's low and the last week's close right there. So that's basically the bullish target, but we are making 1, 2, 3 push wedge. We are at the highs, okay? So you can keep the, I'm not going to keep this. I don't care about it. I don't really trade with the channels. I don't need them, but I just wanted to show it to you. So now we have a large Globex session, just like yesterday, but yesterday was a 45 point. Today is 37, 38 point. So it's, these are all news candles, and you can see that we have rejection, immediate rejection. So get rid of that. Get rid of that. We are moving underneath midnight open. We have a head and shoulders pattern. You can see it, right? Left shoulder head and right shoulder. Bears want to break below this. That's Asia low. It's coming from here, Asia range. They're trying to break below the Asia range and then continue down here, but they may not be able to. We'll see, because buyers were there before. So we could end up coming down here and reverse once again. We gapped up and we're testing highs. Okay, so we're testing yesterday's highs. We kind of failed. We failed to test literally one tick failure, but this isn't the end. Okay, so we now have a trading range slightly at the highs. Bears are trying to sell from the highs. That's the first entry. They're trying to get the second entry sell. Okay. Just give me a second. Let me turn that on. Feds are talking, so algos are listening, and they will react to everything that they hear, whatever the words that they're looking for, keywords. Okay. So today's going to be difficult to trade because I think we're going to get, bars moving very quickly, so you should be careful. Now, we had a climactic move yesterday. Okay, so you would expect definitely follow through, right? 50% in that direction, and then 75% maybe sideways and reversal possibly. So if we're expecting follow through at the open, I would not want to sell it. So I'm taking this as a trading range. Like I said, we have trading range at the highs, and we just tested that low of that trading range. And bulls want to get, okay, follow through. So what would I look for? On the Globex chart, this is an important anchor for me, okay? If I want to become bullish, I want to see bull bars closing above 41.9925. We need to see bulls actually making a new high, getting above, closing bull bars above yesterday's high, and continue to go up. We do have a cup, okay? Or maybe making a handle. So it's not yet clear, but you could see the bears couldn't sell. So I'm just watching to see how this bar is going to close. And we could continue to go up. We have magnets up here. We have a gap to close. Gap can close right here underneath last Friday's low, okay? So if you're scared about the feds and all that, just trade with micros. I do it all the time. I switch in between E-mini and micros all the time. ATR is not that bad. It's actually 475. It's now 5 points. So your risk is basically, if you can afford, it's 5 points or maybe more. But I generally I take 2 times the ATR. If ATR is more than 5 points, that means my risk is going to be around like 10 points. Can I handle that? So you got to ask yourself that, okay? Now, if it's too much, then switch to micros, you know? Can we get a double top here and start to sell? Well, if it's a double top, we have a neckline right here. But we have a strong bull move. I would not sell. Okay, so we do have a doji. Now, it didn't close bearish, but it also didn't close bullish. So we have a doji. Now I'm going to wait for bar 2. We're at the highs. If bears close a bear bar on its low, taking out that entire doji's length, the bears are going to try to probably sell with a second entry. They kind of failed with that second entry. No one's going to sell. But if they do close this bar strongly here, they're going to look for a double top neckline. They're probably sell stop orders already stacking up down here, okay? Because machine sees this as a double top neckline. Test it, go up, and then sell with another leg down. That's the pattern that I always follow. Up, double top, neckline is important. If bears take that, look for a quick pullback. That's my first bear flag. I'm going to look for another leg. I'm going to look for another leg. Then I'm going to look for some kind of rotation, maybe trap or another double top, double bottom, whatever, you know, or W pattern. So those are the things that I look for. I don't see bull bars closing above my anchor on the Globex chart yet. We're well inside the Asia. Bears want to break the Asia low, close that bar bearish, break it down, come back and test this area. You see this red dashed line. That's the target for bears, basically. But they need to first take this out. They need to take out the 41.9250, continue into 41.88. Okay? So I didn't buy, I didn't sell. If I want to sell, I would have probably a sell stop orders right here. But you'll be selling below a doji with no body. So it's very difficult, right? The only thing that you're basing your sell is that this is probably a trap, early trap, double top. Might as well just wait for bar 2 to close, okay? That'll give you a lot more information whether or not this could sell. Oh, wow, there was also a 30 wholesale inventories came out. But really, there's consumer sentiment. I forgot about that. That's a big one. And that comes up same time with Jerome Powell's speech beginning. So, yeah. Same thing. I would use 4 bars or 6 bars on NT. I thought you were asking for NASDAQ. I'm sorry. Yeah, I use the period 4, sometimes 4 or sometimes 6. If the bars are too tiny, like I'm in some kind of trading range and it's a really tight trading range, instead of using 4, I might use 5 or 6, but generally it's 4. All right, so I'm looking for more information, and I don't mind waiting for first 2 bars. It's okay. I like to see bulls take control, and take a look here. Right, so the month of August, the high of August is right there. But can they get there? That's far away. This is my target right here, this gap close. This is where I like to see bulls pushing towards. Okay, close this gap and then come down from there. So I don't think we're going to be reaching the August high, obviously not. So right now we're still haven't made a decision. Bar 2 closed a little bit below its mid-level, but still if you're selling this, it's dangerous because you're stuck inside this bar right here. Now, if this bar closes bearish, bar 3, then yes, you can probably get a 1-to-1 target right there. But you need to see this bar, because that's an inside bar, bar 2. You need bar 3 to close on its low. Now, bulls are also looking at this. Can we buy this? That means they're going to look for a bull bar closing above the high of bar 2 to get to 1-to-1 target, possibly a lot more than that. But so I'm going to wait. We have inside. Okay, we got II at the moment, but the bar 3 hasn't closed yet. If it closes down here, most likely they're going to try to sell it into here. But they're going to have to do a lot better than closing that body right there, just at or above the bar 2 low. They need to close it a little bit more down. Okay. Possibly right below that doji. Their buyers are waiting. Trap. Bears want 2 legs down to the EMA. They're looking for some kind of support. They found resistance, okay, at the open, but they're not in a hurry to sell either. But you do have a doji and a bear close. Bar 2 is not that strong of a bear close, and it's stuck inside bar 1. So now bears are looking for a second bear bar, possibly breaking the first bar's low, okay, getting out of that range, and close that bar strongly. Then you get 2 bars, okay, one of them closing strongly on its low. That gets continuation second leg into the EMA. But you got to wait. You got to get that set first. If it doesn't set up, then I said underneath bar 1, probably buyers are waiting, okay, wanting to trap these bears. So I'm not in a hurry to sell anything until I see it set up, okay, because I know there are, every time, let me put it this way, guys, okay, every time you have a bar, say it's a bear bar or bull bar, and you're stuck, you're in the range of that bar, you got a, some kind of bar, somewhere around here and somewhere around there, okay, I call these traps. It's going to always reject once and twice until we go and break out of the range, or goes up at the 50% midpoint, gets rejected, breaks, and then comes down. So until you get that, you do not sell or buy. We're stuck in bar 1's range. Look what happened, traps. Bulls trapped the bears right there. That's why I didn't want to sell. I wanted to see this bar 3 close with a bear body below the low of bar 2, so that I can put my stop here and sell and go for 1-to-1, 2-to-1, 3-to-1, whatever. But I cannot do that, can I? It's the same thing that I did yesterday, okay, with this bar. Look at bar 40, look at bar 41. I said, as long as you're here, okay, mark that 50%, we're going to be inside this thing. But look, they could not break below the 50%, so they could not come down and test it. We have a wedge here too, so they were ready to break out. They broke out, failed breakout, came back, and finally they squeezed out. And I do have a bar 42 closing above, so that's my signal right there. I can buy that, put my stop here as close as possible, go for 1-to-1, 2-to-1, 3-to-1, whatever. Okay, so what's happening here? Well, what's happening with bar 3? Well, they couldn't close that body below the bar 2. They breached it. So it's a sign that there's some bear pressure here. But bears could not close bar 3 body. So I still don't know. I don't have enough information to sell this. Okay? If I sell this, I could be stuck in a trap again, right? With my stop up there. So just wait for bears to close that body below that. That's it. But they're breaching. That hasn't closed yet. Right? So more bars that fail to close below bar 1 as it goes and goes, it actually weakens the bear case. It already has been weakened with bar 2, but it's still okay. They're still trying to break the bar 1's low. The bear is still trying to break, but first they need to close that body bearish enough to do that. Then I'll sell, but right now I can't Otherwise, I would get trapped. So you got to learn these to read the conditions so you won't get trapped in a micro level like bars are going sideways, right? So that's how the limit order buy and sell happens in these bars that we are stuck in its range, okay, until we break out. Sellers are here, buyers are here. In the middle, you do nothing. Another trap, just to see it. So say they close that bar, right? You see that this is a 1-to-1, okay? I kind of gauge, like say this bar closed here and you sold it because you think this is good enough to sell. Just put a mental line there, your risk reward health, okay, 0.5. If bears come down here and you're expecting this is gonna, it could just reverse right back up. That's the trap right there. That's why I said underneath bar 1, even though the bears start to sell, they can still trap, okay? So everybody's watching this bar now. Are they gonna be able to close this bearish 1 tick below bar 2 low? See how it's keep bouncing and bouncing? There's a huge fight, and that's that. Because as soon as bear machines see that, they're going to sell. They're going to scalp here at the 50%, and then they're going to try to get the full 1-to-1. But I don't see it yet, right? So, no, you have 3 bars, and because bears want to sell this with a double top neckline, their self-stop orders also waiting underneath here, so they can actually scalp right there. Now, why would they scalp there other than being 1-to-1? Forget about measuring. Well, look left. What do you see? A gap, right? So this is all a buy zone right here. Buyers are waiting there. It might even drift all the way down to the bar 73 high and then reverse there if it wants to sell further down. Maybe that would be the 2-to-1 target. But okay, so they did close it, so they're probably going to come down to that now mental line that I said put 50%, and they're going to try to close a bar. You see how it just slows down there as it gets there? Because that is a threshold, right? See how it's bouncing there? One might ask, why is it bouncing there, right? So because it's the 50%, they're scalping. Machines are scalping because they're thinking there might be, okay, buyers here that could stop us in our tracks, but we should be able to get to the EMA. And then 1-to-1. So I actually sold it. I sold the close. First, I had a sell stop order, 1 tick below. That got activated, and then I hit the close. Hit the sell close. So I got in with 2 contracts. Immediately took profit at there, and then now I'm running it to the 1-to-1. And I'm gonna scalp there if I can get it. And I should be able to. That's it. I got it. I'm out. Can it go down further? Yes. It's trying to go to this bar. Right around here. But look how it's bouncing right at the 1-to-1. Why is that? Well, it actually went 1 tick below. Look at that. Look, if I just do it like this. Is it 1 tick or 2 ticks? No, it's just 2 ticks below it went. So you could also say, I put my stop there, 1 tick stop. It actually went below it, 1 tick, filled everybody. So why did I add a 1 tick? Well, if you put your stop 1 tick, right, above that bar that you sold, or you thought that it's an inside bar. So you're giving your market is giving you extra tick to fill you if you're trying to get out at 87.25. So that was beautiful. That was a quick scalp, and I'm pretty much done with my trading day. I did what I needed to make for a living. It's all good. So hopefully you learned something today. I'm just trying to break it down so that you guys have, you see how the scalping works. Scalping can be very lucrative, okay? You could also say, listen, this was a double top and trap at the high of yesterday. We couldn't even get above it. We failed. I mean, however you get there, you can read it several different ways. You could say double top neckline. I'm going to sell it. My target is EMA. I will take profit at the EMA. Or the trading range lows. There are probably buyers waiting there. And buyers were there. So you could actually put a buy order there, limit order, and then go up as they're taking profit there, 1-to-1. And the EMA, you know, the buyers waiting at the EMA, you can actually buy into this reversal. So you have double-sided trading. All right, so it looks like we're going sideways after this move up. They try to resume. They might still resume this, okay, move up, but I need to see bull bars closing above 41.99.50 or 25 area first, and then we could go up and finally make a double top there and then swing it down the rest of the day. So it's, you know, no, I'm no longer interested in that at the moment. All right, so bar 4 is actually technically a breakout bar because its low is testing and went a couple of ticks, maybe a 1 tick, I don't know, below these bars. So this is still a breakout. Now, breakout continued, but it's not getting a good follow through. What does it look like to you? Well, it looks like a wedge bull flag, doesn't it? So I'm going to wait. Bulls want to test the highs. Close above high of yesterday. Close above 99.25. And then go right back up to these levels possibly. But I need to see it to believe it. So what time is it now? Okay, so we have less than 5 minutes for the consumer sentiment coming up. Michigan consumer sentiment is a big deal. And the Jerome Powell speech will begin. So if you are in a trade and if you don't have a big account, you may want to, okay, maybe step out of it. Or if you're looking for, we found support here. Okay, so this could actually start to swing now. So the bulls want to actually break above this, okay, high. Now what the bears want, a trap. Okay, so here, bulls tried once, tried twice, and then suddenly we get a trap. So be careful, okay? This August mid, okay, is an important level, everyone. Okay, it can act as resistance. Bears want that trap set up, okay? It could act like this, okay? So bulls tried again, goes up, and then traps, and then comes down. It could happen. I've seen it happen. What the bulls want is to test a high, go up here, okay, start to close bull bars, close these gaps, and keep going up and up. But I think there's sellers waiting here as well. So let's see. I think this is just too early to sell because this is a really good bar. Think of it as a second entry long, right? So from the highs, this is the first entry, possibly, because it's lower than that high. So that makes it the second entry long. But it's a limit order market still. So this bar needs to close bullish in order for us to get up here. Less than 3 minutes for the news. I like to see bulls push this further up and maybe a measured move up, okay? I can measure it. If they do break it with a good bull bar, that would be my measured move target. Okay, so we could get there very quickly, very fast. Or do we have some kind of wedge? Well, we do have a measured move here. Okay, we're probably going to continue. So that's around there, either or. So that's also a target. But be aware, okay, sudden traps Look what's happening on the Globex. I said I would love to see bulls close bull bars above 41.9925 and then open a new one above it. And then we would continue to go up, or at least we would try, but there's a possible trap here. So just be careful. I switched to micros because of the news, the double trouble. So I switched to micros. And because if anything goes wrong, I can manage the micros rather than crying over E-mini losses. I can buy lower if this collapses, okay, and get out of it, because this can come down and make a double bottom, micro double bottom, before going back up again. So 10 seconds. We should be able to test 42.0450, maybe even 42.0825 if bulls can take over. 0450. Let's see if we can't see it. See, bars are getting ridiculous. Okay, higher inflation continues. Fed Powell. Woo. So we have a micro double bottom now. You see it? So let's see if the bulls are going to bite this. But this is the first bar. That's why I said either switch to micros or get out of it. If bulls can take over here, they're going to push this to 42.0450 and then 42.0825 area. But it's still, you know, micros and stuff. So that's done. Bulls are done. So I'm going to get rid of this now. You do not trade this. And I warned you about this. So the trap actually came a lot earlier, right? So now they're breaking. They're probably trying to get that measured move to down now. But at this point, it's news candle. I'm not touching it. So I'm going to wait. Came back to a support, open of the week. And because it's magnet, but now we have another magnet down here. We could continue to come down to the 1 hour EMA. Look what's just happened here. We could not close above. So I said if we do have a second bear bar, okay, if the bull bar cannot get above it, we're probably going to break that and come down. So now we're coming down even further. Buyers are probably here. So let's see if we're going to be able to actually close this bar here and continue down to this area on the Globex chart. So, well, that's the news candle for you. Hopefully you, okay, so we are testing now where the bears got trapped before. Okay, so those bears could have sold up here wanting to still break even or even make money. Now, what do we have? We have a expanding triangle. This could continue to come down, guys. Okay, look at this right there. Okay, we could end up coming down here. Wow. But be careful. You see this congestion area? This congestion area is area of interest. Okay. Now, a bar like this is probably going to get continuation. But this area is a balance zone. Price broke down, found buyers, and then broke out. So it's a balance zone. So that means it could bounce there, and it is bouncing. I did say that we're probably going to come down here. We actually breached all the way down, but look at the ATR. Look at the volatility. It was around 5 point. Now it's 14 points an extra tick. It's almost 15 points on the ETA chart. But it's testing certain levels, and there's support here. Now, if the bears break this, this is probably going to get some continuation. I've got area that we might actually end up testing, but first they need to break below this area. Buyers are also at 41.56. to 4150 area, maybe 55. There's a 5-point all the way down the 4150 area. Buyers are waiting there, which is down underneath here, closer to the low of yesterday. Okay, so possibly right around here. So if we don't come down here, that could be also the bounce area. Good for the bears. I mean, that right there is a trap. Okay, trapped at the high of yesterday. Bulls tried once with that doji, failed. Bulls tried twice, and then bam. I mean, I think they would have, if we didn't have a news, we would have tried, and I would look for extension and then trap and then sell. Normally, that's what I would look for. But listen, this is news. Anything's possible. They're trying to push into that trend line. So this is a spike. We're going to get spike, pullback, probably channel down. But at this point, I'm going to wait at least 3 bars, 15 minutes for news to pass, and then things to slow down a little bit. Can you hear now? Okay, good. Well, I wanted to see a more continuation, but once price hits this level, I tend to stop. I don't do anything. I don't sell. I don't buy. I just wait because it's better to wait for 3 bars, especially if we're testing a balance zone. I like to see, but news candles will do whatever they want to do. Okay, they could just go down, get continuation, or they could just go up, reverse. Yeah, I don't want to be stuck. And I did say that this is buy. I wish that they came down a little bit, then I would have bought it. But if they're not going to do it, I'm out. I'm flat. Can this reverse all the way back? I mean, it's pretty bearish, but it's already reversing now. Market needs to close these bars inside the Globex and then reverse, perhaps. But so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to measure this bar and see where the sellers are. If we do get to the 50%, there could be sellers right there, right around here. So if it's going to get continuation, it's looking for sellers probably. And if I go to 2-minute chart, now get rid of this. See this area? Sellers could be here. You see where the buyers showed up? Right there. So now it's going to the breakout test underneath this bar and the breakout area. Sellers didn't show up, so this is now a full reversal. But sellers are still around here because that's where it started to sell. Now, can the market completely reverse this and go back into resume where it was going before? And I thought maybe we would go up again before coming down. This is a full reversal now. So I didn't sell, even though I said this could get continuation, but this is what I was worried about, this area, so I didn't sell it. And I wanted to see what it was going to do. Sometimes it breaks below it with a bear bar and then sell. So I didn't see a bear bar breaking below that yellow area. I didn't touch it. So now we have a full reversal outside up bar. Goody. News candles are crazy today. All right, so I guess that's it. So I guess this was, I'm out, I'm done with these. Okay, so now we have a trend line. Let's see if the bulls can actually break this trend line and go up to 42.14. Outside up bar. kind of a trading range. So big bear bar, big down, big up, confusion. So think of this as a trading range. So they're probably going to sell the close of that bar. And they tested that trend line. Now they're trying to sell it. But again, like I said, 3 bars, I'm going to wait 15 minutes to pass. Now, if bulls want to buy this, fine, get above and close a bull bar above the 41.9925. Then I'll buy and hold it until the Globex high. But I need to see it. So I'm going to treat this as still news because it's the 3rd news bar. It's better to not touch it. Okay. So what can happen here? Can the bears still sell this? I would assume bulls are going to try to take it up here, and then we could start to sell again. So I am just not going to touch this. But I think, after a little bit of selling with the 3rd bar, once it closes, if it closes bearish, we could still continue to sell, maybe to the 50% and then look for buyers. But if it closes weak bearish, it's not bearish enough, okay? We could end up getting continuation to the upside. Now I'm going to take a look at what's happening here. Well, on the 4-hour chart, I said this is an important area. We will test it. And we tested it. We couldn't close a 4-hour bar. Bulls are still trying to close above it. And they're trying to get up here, get up to here. But it's resistance. It's also wedge, bear flag 1, maybe 2 and 3, or 1, 2, 3, and a double top. So trend line resisted yet again. Now, for bulls, if you still consider this as expanding triangle, bulls need to close above this trend line to break out. I don't mind buying that, but I need to see it. It's confusing. It's very confusing. Big down, big up, but trap was there. So it just came in a little bit early with the news. Now, where can the bulls market can take us? Like I said, this is now a trading range. Bulls need to start closing bull bodies, a close above here, and then we could go up here. Bears want to sell this, test the 50% of this range, which is right there. I don't have a good direction here. All right, let's see. Now, if this bar closes bullish, we could get a high 1. But I have nothing to base my going long on anything. The one thing that I can do is to wait for this bull bar's 50% test it. Otherwise, they're just going to sell it, and we're going to end up here. I'll put it again. Could end up coming back down yet again. So now we have 1, 2, 3 push top. But you're trying to sell against this big bear bar. I'm sorry, bull bar. If you mark the 50%, I would wait. Because if the buyers are there, that's fine. We can buy that, pull back the 50%. Or wait for this bar to close bullish and test that upper trend line and finally break above it and continue to go up, then I'll buy again, but I'm just not going to touch it. Well, nothing happened since I walked away from my desk to get some coffee and nothing happened. Fine. Failed continuation is for bears after bar 7. It's kind of a sign that once these machines get out of the way, I think we're going to test that 50. If we don't, I mean, that's fine. We test it or we don't test it. I want to see bulls take over eventually. But if we start to move below that 50%, we could then sell into here as well. So far, I'm watching the midpoint of that bar 8. We have not made a decision yet. We're still at, look where we are. We're now back inside yesterday's range. So we do have this channel that I had. Let me get rid of this. So if I connect the tops, we'll connect the bottoms. So I removed that channel, but if you had that channel earlier that I drew, you see this right here? If the bulls finally show up and we go up, we're probably going to clone this amount of move down there to up here, okay? So we're smack in the middle of this channel, and it's quite broad channel. So like I said, I'm watching that 50%, the midpoint of this bar 8. If there are any buyers, that's where they are. Or this pin bar, okay? But again, look what's happening, okay, on the Globex chart, just like what we experienced with that 1-to-1 target, okay, with that inside bar. We have an inside bar now, okay? So bears, we could end up coming down if we can close a bar below the 50% of this pin bar. We could end up coming down around here and then reverse there. So we just breached the 50% again. We're coming back down to that balance zone. Can we bounce for the second time? I think we're going to end up here, either there, like I had it before. I had it before. I didn't buy it blindly at the 50% of the midpoint of bar 8 either. It could still continue to go down. It's testing the channel low. I don't use channels, but I want to show you where it could go. So that's that channel. Low. I don't use channels, but I want to show you where it could go. So that's that channel. Literally, we are testing that low right there. Can we continue to sell? Yes. If there are no buyers here, we could break below this and continue to sell into these levels. Okay, so this is an expanding triangle after all. This is probably going to get, it's trying to find support at the 1-hour EMA once again, but it's probably going to get continuation. If we can break that area, I'm done with this. Let me get it out of the way. Like I said, buyers are waiting here, somewhere here, but the bears want to break that low, but they're probably not going to break it right away. They're going to bounce here briefly, most likely. But for continuation, we could continue down to here and low of yesterday. For bears, just trying to, they started to sell here, so I'm going to measure that. If there's any 40 points, that's 45. Oh, we sold it, but I'm going to measure from here. So we're at the 40-point zone, but it could go another 10 points to here. Okay, so this right around here is target. 41.56 to 41.66 area. All right. So I sold that close, guys. Okay, and this was my target. That's it. That's the 50 point. So you should take profit there a little bit. But if you're looking for continuation, magnet is the target, which is low of yesterday. And then I have another trend line here that we could test. Okay, so that once the 50% failed, and I saw this bar coming down, and I thought there will be buyers here, so I did take profit there and then left a runner into that trend line. But and then I saw that 50 point maybe. So I'm done. I actually got out. I'm not holding anymore. You can hold into low of yesterday. It's probably going to test maybe one tick below that, but buyers could be there, even if it just extends, because ATR is 20 points and 2 ticks. That's a lot. So it's probably going to overshoot it, but I took profit because it's 50 points. Anytime price reaches 40 points and it shoots another 10 points, I'd like to take profit. It can continue to sell more, but then I would start to count again 10, 15, 20, another 40 points, which it could make. But I need to take profit because it's extending to the 50-point area. So I'm flat right now. If they're going to sell this, they're going to have to show me. They're taking profit here right now with that bounce. Now, if they do close this bar below that trend line, low of yesterday is target still. But I'm flat. I took profit. So, and you can see that bulls failed right there, right? So they printed bars, but this was right before the market opened. They tried several times trying to get above that anchor point. And when that fails, you know it's going to come down. So I did not buy. I wanted to see a breakout, but look what happened, right? I said this is a trading range, right? 2 bar, bears failed, bulls failed. So I said, wait, if you want to buy at the 50%, wait. But they breached that 50% selling. So I sold that bar right there. Expected continuation to the low of bar 8. Took some profit there around here or here, and then let the other one run into the 50 point. Good for the bears. It's trying to reach here. It's probably going to overshoot, but we're now testing the low of yesterday. Buyers are probably there, so we should test that trend line. We might even overshoot a little bit, so I'm going to look left now. What's there? Well, there is a area of interest. Again, oh, look at that one. It's very strong, in fact, a balance zone. From there to just about, just trying to find a good area that, okay, so see, I didn't even see what I was doing, but look how accurate I am. I didn't even see this. So we just tested the top of it. Buyers could be here. Be careful. We are overshooting now. Right here, 41.35. We could find some buyers. Be careful. This could bounce. Buyers are underneath that balance zone. But I would say right in the smack in the middle, 50%. Buyers probably here. It's probably going to bounce. It is bouncing. So if you want to, pay yourself, just like over here, we bounced. We may not bounce too hard, but still, it could bounce. Now, I want to show you guys chart here where the buyers can come in. Let me, okay, so this is a file available for trade room members, okay? So, right, so think about this as expanding triangle. You see this right here? I thought maybe we would go, but look, we did not get continuation. We immediately start the sell. So that selling happened here. And we did sell. You see that? Into that area of interest, whatever that is. And the buyers did show up. So, hello. Okay. So look for a little bit more continuation, but underneath low of yesterday and in this area of interest, we're finding buyers now. Okay, so they're taking profit as they gotten close. Now look for momentum loss. We don't have that yet. And then this is what I'm going to be looking for. You have access to these files on the trade room website. Under downloads, you have to log in. I also posted it under, where did I post it? I might have posted under yes analysis read only a while back, but I'm not sure. You can download it from the website. All right, so we have slowed down here. Maybe I should have stayed in my short, but that's fine. I made what I made. I'm okay with that. I'm now waiting for this bar to close. Okay, so the bar closes. So now we have an inside bar. But can we get continuation? We might. But I am done at this point with sellers. Now, this could be too low to sell. If you want to sell again, you may want to wait until price to pull back a little bit, maybe half the ATR. If ATR is 16, maybe 8 points go up, 7, 8 points, and then sellers might be somewhere around this bar 12 low, okay? So I'm going to wait for bars to go up there, this bar. See if the sellers are there for a quick scalp. Bars to go up there, this bar. See if the sellers are there for a quick scalp. If they sell right away, that's fine, but the reason why I don't want to sell is because of this area. We are way below the Globex. I mean, we literally doubled that Globex low because it's a measured move in a way, right? So we have a breakout. We already met that measured move. So market is looking for buyers. See how it's getting smaller, the chart that I showed you guys? Now look for, you could stay in your short. To get out of your short, you need to look for lower wicks, okay? The body is getting smaller and the lower wicks, okay, getting larger. And then suddenly you end up getting this, some kind of a bull bar, a pin bar. That's going to be the sign of a rotation up. This, some kind of a bull bar, a pin bar. That's going to be the sign of a rotation up. So it didn't bounce. It's not ready to buy yet, but you can see that the bar is getting a little bit smaller. They're still selling. I'm not selling. I want to buy a reversal, but it's still going down. I will try to sell somewhere around that bar 12 low if it gets there eventually for a quick scalp. But for the swing sell, swing short, they're trying to push this all the way down to 41.25 area. And that's because if you squeeze your chart a little bit, that's this area. They're trying to come down to this area. There's another, okay, look at this, right? So if you take that, or I can take it from here, this is a lot better. Maybe that's the overshoot. Can the bears sell all the way down to the August open? They can. They have to break this balance zone, but there are buyers here which they're testing now. There are buyers there, okay? But for more selling, there's a magnet here. Now, can we get there? That is about 25 points away. It's not that far. Because if we have started another 40 points, move down, which I have seen a big swing, 80 points, maybe even more than 80 points, it could happen. So I'm going to measure now, okay? So if I actually start to measure from here, that's a 40 point right there. Okay, so I'm going to take it from the bear body. So now I'm going to put another 40 point. That right there is a target. You may want to take profit right at 41.2150. It aligns very well with the second 40 point down. Okay, and I found that 41.21 by looking at that low. Okay, buyers are probably down at I said 41.25 area. Well, we came very close, 3 ticks above, but I think it's going to move down a little further because I don't see bars getting smaller. It looked like it was getting smaller somewhere here, but they're overshooting. Now we have another inside bar, but we do have a buy zone at the 41.25, further down 24, all the way down to 41.20 area. So that 5 point area down below, or 21.50, I think this is going to push down a little bit further, where I marked 40, second 40 point zone. I mean, they came this close, might as well just go get it. It's a big ticket. So I'm done with this, but we are testing the balance zone, or if it was. I'm going to get rid of this now because we have breached it. So I do have solid targets anyway. I don't need all those graphics. I'm done. We're overshooting this expanding triangle. I am done with that. This one is I'm interested, mostly. Okay. So I'm going to wait a little bit more to see what the bears are going to do here. That's an inside bar, but we need some kind of a double bottom. So if you do buy this, you know you're going to be stopped out somewhere here because this is probably minor. Limit order buyers are probably underneath that, waiting, because it could come down here and then go up. It could make a double bottom with bar 14. But I think it's gonna come down. So I'm not ready to buy anything. Not interested. Oliver, I thought you were done like 20 minutes ago. You said, I'm done. I thought you were leaving. Now you made another 30 points. Good for you. He'll come back in 15 minutes later. I said, I think I'm done now. I like to see continuation down to the 41, 25, 24, 23, maybe even all the way down to 21 area. So I'm not interested in buying anything here yet. It's a good inside bar because ATR is so big, 17 points. If you buy this, it can come down 17 points and you will lose a lot. So just wait because it's going to continue down. Now, you could just measure your measured move target. That's down here. So can we get down there? Sure. We could. Just waiting for bears to push this down a little bit more. at least give me some kind of micro double bottom, right, with the bar 14 low. Limit order buyers could be right underneath bar 15, so we could make a quick wick and may not test the 14 and go back up if buyers are ready to buy. But I like to see this come down a little bit, at least give me a decent double bottom. There are some bears actually now stuck selling the 14 close, and they're not happy. So could this come down? Yes. Limit order buyers are literally underneath bar 15 low. So that's what I'm talking about. But okay, so they just rescued all the sellers with one tick. Look at that bar. On the micro, it went one tick below the close of 14. On the yes, it did not. So many who sold the close actually got out safely. Bar 14 close, both with micro and E-mini. And I did say that there are probably buyers right at the low. We did not test the low, which is a bummer, but if you look at the micro, we actually tested, let me see. We tested one tick below. I think it's one tick below. 75. Yep. We tested one tick below the bar 15. But I don't think this is okay. I mean, I think this is going to come down still. I'd like to see this to come down further. Just, I think it's too early to buy. There are limit order sellers probably above here selling. Market thinks this is good enough. Micro double bottom with 14 and 16, and now they want to go up, but they're buying against a huge leg that is a strong bear. So it could be minor, and it could still come down because it kind of left the next 40 point behind, and it didn't test it. So can we come back down? We could, if we're looking for one pullback, two pullback, and a third push down. Okay, would you have a measured move target down here also? So we're pulling back. If this is too low, we're pulling back and we're looking for sellers. And if we do sell up around here, maybe we make a double top or something. This is still the target, 41.2150, and a measured move down here is also target. And then the August open, the month of August, is also magnet. So if there are any sellers here, limit order sellers, there's got to be some here, or a little bit up with the high of 14. They might be looking for some kind of double top and sell. So that would give us a bear flag here, maybe another bear flag. Because I think there's a much better buy area down below at the 41.24.23 area than here. Plus, it's a minor reversal. I like to see bears try that 41.21.50 test. Let's see if they can do it. So these bears sold. Maybe they didn't get out safely and they're not happy about it, so they want to make money. They're selling up here. They, at these highs, or maybe 5 point above. Well, this is a lot more than 5 point, obviously, but I'm going to measure it anyway. So what did they start to sell? They start to sell here. That's a 10 point. So they start to sell around, instead of 5 point, 10 point, because the ATR is so big. So they're still trying to make money. Okay, those that sold the 14 close, they will exit out if they cannot, they will quit or give up if they don't see a bear bar closing on its low, at least closer to the 16 low. They might sell higher, maybe around bar 14, okay, because two bear bars, both of them are closing on their low, so they're probably limit order sellers there still. But this is what I'm interested in, 41.2150. And if it does pull back up, like I said, above that 14 top, maybe 41.4850 area, sellers could be waiting, but I think we need to push down a little bit further. It's just too early to buy. Because this is a flag, okay? Why is it a flag? Look, we need to test around here maybe before going back up again. Flags can be, okay, bear could have a expanding triangle, goes up, up, and then comes back down, and then goes back up, and if it gets above it, it's going to go up, and that's how it's going to reverse. Now, we have inside bars, okay, so you can see the bar 15. I think you guys already marked this, so I'm going to get rid of these. There's too much going on here. This is an important area, 41.32. I explained why, so I'm going to get rid of that now. This is I'm interested in for bears, okay. Now we have an inside bar, 15, right? We have II actually, 15 and 16. Now we have the third inside bar. We're going to break out, okay? And now bulls get the second bar 16 close on its high, so they want to see a 1-to-1 target, okay? If they did buy it, their stop is probably right underneath bar 15, okay? And that's the smallest stop, or they could be under bar 14. So they're looking for that 1-to-1 bull target, and maybe even furthermore a reversal. But it's just, look what's happening. Let me get rid of this. Look what's happening with the EMAs, right? So the 20 EMA on the 5-minute, it's trying to reach the 1-hour EMA. It's trying to become bearish. It's trying to cross underneath. And if that crossover happens, we could become a lot more bearish. Okay, see, it's touching now. If that EMA moves underneath 1-hour EMA, which is this bar, we could sell. So 21.50 becomes valid. Okay. I'm still waiting for bears to get it together. And there's the measured move target here. And the August open. And then also the trend line. Can we reverse? I think we need that wedge, 1, 2, and 3, somewhere here, maybe an overshoot, or maybe, I don't know, somewhere here. But I will look to buy eventually, but I want bears to finish what they came here for, which is that second 40-point trend. That makes it an 80-point good swing short. So I'm just trying to be patient here. I don't want to, prematurely buy something and be stuck in it when it looks like a bear flag. All right, 41.2150. We could tag, but as early as 24.50, we could find buyers. So could it reverse here? Is it making some kind of higher low? I think it's too early. These bears, I'm sorry, the bulls bought, and their stops here, they're trying to prevent that to be, okay, hit, so that they're buying so that they can get out, okay, break even if they think the market is going to come down further. Some bulls see micro double bottom, okay, with 14, 16, and a higher low, slight one tick. That's not even a higher low, but it is in a way. So these bulls are disappointed that they can't even get a 1-to-1. So they might be buying here with a limit order to get out before bears hit the gas again. Yes, it is sideways because it's, when you have any kind of big move down, market is going to go sideways. If it's making any kind of, flag, you're stuck, stuck in there. Any kind of bear flag, you're stuck in there. So yes, it's sideways before it breaks out. So what you're seeing here is called a bank zone or balance zone. Okay, institutional zone. This is where the big players are positioning their orders. If they do think there is more bearishness and they want to keep selling, they see better prices down here, discounted prices to buy, this is where they're positioning their sell orders so that they can get another imbalance breakout. So it's going sideways briefly before it breaks out. All right. Yeah, we need bear bars closing, breaching below the bar 15 low if they want to sell this. Otherwise, it could give in here. So I'm watching this bar, see where it's going to close. We're stuck inside bar 14's range. Okay, so we're smack in the middle, midpoint of this range. If bears close a bear bar here, we could easily come down to that 41.21, okay? All right, so they did close a bear bar below the mid-range of bar 14. So that means they're going to try possibly to break the low of that bar 14 to sell. Well, let's see. Early buyers are waiting right underneath bar 14. They're going to try to prevent and trap the sellers. As early as 28, 41.28, they're going to try to trap, but I think they're going to fail. And the next trap is 23.50, okay? So they're going to try to trap these sellers trying to sell at the 23.50 area. So see how they came so close to the 28? 28.75, that doesn't count. So I think we should continue to come down. So this I don't know, this isn't a good trap. I like them to be trapped at least between 41.28 to 41.23 and 2/4, 23.50. So I like these bears to push down, and they will. I like to move it. Come on. All right, we're testing 28. Move it along. There's nothing here. Keep going. 23.50 is the next trap, but we should be able to test my target 21.50, 21. Yeah, 21.50, 21.75. I don't know how accurately I drew that. I didn't even zoom in, so it could be 1 point above, 1 point below this line. See how they've trapped right there at the 28? Look at that. That's 27. They actually trapped 1 point below, literally. But that's a trap area. But they should move. I mean, we're so close to my target. I like to see a little bit more move down. Buyers are at 24 to 21 area, 41.24 to 41.21. Next trap is 23.50, but the target is in front of you. It's still, look what's happening right there. We're in the trap. Okay, so that low of bar 14, bears are trying to prevent that break, but it is going to break. I mean, we already knew that, right? So I didn't buy anything here. This was not, that would be a dumb thing to do because market is going to continue this down. It's looking for a bear flag. So institutions are positioning themselves to sell with another leg or two. So at least if you're not so sure, at least take profit where I mark. But we got a measured move down here. We got magnets down here. So 2150 is still target. We will bounce there, possibly. Next target, next trap, I said 2350. As it gets so close, it keeps bouncing up. But I like to see it move down. I'm going to scalp there. Give myself a little reward. You know, it's Friday, sushi and sake. So I'm going to need that money. 2150. I mean, I think I did a good job holding you guys in your shorts. Hopefully you didn't buy it. Oh, I'm in. I mean, I see a good, you know, opportunity. I will jump in. That's what the buttons are for. You just click on them. So 2150 is still target. Hold. That's it. I got me some. Now measured move could be target, but we're going to bounce here. We could continue. We will probably going to continue down to 41.14. We could continue, but this is where I take profit because I know it's going to bounce, and that's that bar. That's everybody, all the machines, all the smart traders are taking profit there. Okay. Can we continue down? Oh, I trade micros. I trade E-minis. Yeah. Whatever I can get my hands on. When ATR is too big for me, anytime it's more than 10 points, I tend to switch to micros. And because I have multiple accounts, if I make, you know, just $100 with a micro trading, that multiplies. So I keep the risk low, and, you know, I don't need to be in the market for a long period of time to make a living. But I do trade micros. I love micros. They're great for risk management for days like today. Okay, so I have no aspirations of making thousands of dollars sitting here and trading. That's what the multiple accounts are for, right? So you trade on one account and it multiplies on all the other accounts. Same trade. And instead of making $100, suddenly you're making $500, $600 with one trade. So you're good. And I'm never worried about the commissions. When somebody tells me, oh, but you're killed with the commissions, Oh, I don't care. That's part of the game. You got to spend money to make money. I never bog down with commissions, worry about commissions, or make a decision, trade or not to trade because there might be commissions hefty. No, commissions are commissions. You got to pay your broker. You should never be bogged down. What you need to worry about, how much to trade, okay, the probability on that trade, and how much you're spending or risking to make how much. That's what's important. Commissions is commissions. You're going to have to pay that. You're driving on roads, American roads, and you pay tolls, okay, in where you live, literally. So if your local government is asking you to pay the tolls, I'm sure it's okay to pay your broker too. That's how it goes. All right, so can we continue down? Yes. The next target is 41.0650 or 25. I'm sorry, 41.14, 13.50. So what am I saying? 41.13.50. It's going to bounce, or 41.13.75. I'm just trying to be exact. 13.75, it can go and tag, but it's really trying to get to the measured move and further down to 41.06.25. Yes, it's automated. I can't talk much about my accounts, but that's, it's the best I can explain. Maybe I'll talk to you privately about it, but not here. All right, so 1375 is next target. You may want to pay yourself because we will bounce there. And if you want to leave a runner for 41.0650, that's fine too. Did we just test that? No, we failed. Come on, just meet the target. 1375. Where did it fail? Meet the target. 1375. Where did it fail? It failed 0.3 ticks, but it should meet. It'll come down. It's coming down. 1375 is still the target. I don't have anything to buy here. There's no decent bar. There's no decent bull bar. It's still pushing down. 1375 is still the target. Bulls want some kind of micro double bottom, but look what we got here, guys. A wedge. Okay? We just need to push a little bit to make some kind of double bottom or some kind of pin bar, some kind of good buy signal. Bar 20 is not a buy signal bar. It's actually a continuation for bears. So this needs to push down further. But if you are fed up and worried, then just wait at least until 1375. We should meet that. And in fact, 41.0625 is also doable. Or measured move, or August open, one of the other. It's all around this vicinity right here. All right, so bulls are trying to get some kind of micro double bottom here with 2021. We don't know that yet. So the bar 21 hasn't closed yet. I don't like the way it is. I'm not thrilled about buying anything here because this got a room to go down a little bit to a little bit more down. But if you're scared, get out. I think it will be too early to get out. You will be upset if you get out here from your shorts. Unless bulls do something crazy and then they close a strong bull bar. Unlikely. Anything's possible in trading. We do have an inside bar. Bar 21 is an inside bar. That may be the only reason why you're worried. I would understand that. But do you see this as a good combo for reversal, 20 and 21? Other than being a micro double bottom? Probably not. Yes, there's wedge, 8, 14, 20, but I don't think it's good enough. I'd like to see a little bit more push, at least maybe trap these bears underneath 41.13 area. All right, so now we have is bar 21 inside bar, but if bulls start to close, couple of bull bars stacking, that's fine, but I'm not interested. Again, 2 bars, 19 and 20 bear bars, probably sellers above. I'm not interested. This is no. I'm going to wait. If bulls start to close consecutive bull bars, then yes, I'll believe in, but not good enough. Bulls got to try harder here. So 1375 is still the target, maybe even 1350. For bears. Could literally reach the measured move and 41.05 or 06.25. Still, nothing's changed. I just need some kind of exhaustion, you know? This doesn't look very exhaustive. Don't get me wrong, I want to buy this wedge, but it just doesn't look very cheery. Not very bullish enough for me. Market is bearish, so it's better to be on the bear side. You know, sell the pullbacks than buy anything, right? So it's not showing you anything bullish, right? Just keep making small flags until it no longer can make any. So I want to see these bears test this 1441, 1375. I like them to get going here, take out that bar 20 low, give me that measured move. But first, if you are selling, you still need to take profit at either 41.14 or 13.75. It's going to bounce briefly there. See, I sold with a limit order right there. Actually, I ended up selling there because I didn't really I hit market. Kind of filled me there. And so I didn't get a good fill, but still, that was really good. I took profit at the 13.75. And it's bouncing. See, it actually tested below that. So that was good. So I did say that if you get out, you would be upset, stay in your short. Now, can this continue down? Well, it's bouncing because smart machines know that it needs to bounce here because they take profit. Many machines take profit and it just moves the bar up. But if they do close this bar or continues to go down below 13.50 or 13.75, 41.0625 is the next target. Okay, so let's see. Now, bar 21 is an inside bar. Bar 22 is, if it closes bearish, you can measure and look for 1-to-1 and 2-to-1 targets to downside. All right, so what do you mean by second entry, 21? For bulls, you mean? We're making new lows, and we're making new lows with gap bars. There's nothing to buy there. Look at the gap. Gap from there to there, gap from there to there. There's a gap. So they're selling. Were you trying to second entry, 21 buck? Were you trying to buy? I don't know. Or were you trying to sell? Well, you already sold here, right? Right here. Or a stop order sells at the lows right there. Activated. So this is still selling. There's nothing to buy here. The next target is still 41.0625. The measured move is slightly below. We've been overshooting the target, so 41.05 and below is also magnet. Now, 40.80.55 is August low. Okay. I don't have it in here, but okay. So I want to show you guys something on here. What do I have here? Equal lows, liquidity grab. Just like here, you see those equal lows right there? The market grabbed and went up after this wedge, spike, pullback channel, and it's a trap again, and it went up. So now you got this going on. Do we have equal lows? There's several equal lows here. There's one here that they're trying to break, but this is the one that I'm interested right there. So market could push all the way down here. And this is a 4-hour chart. Okay, so we're approaching some buy zones. Okay, somewhere here probably buyers are waiting. Be careful. this is on the 1 hour liquidity. You can see the liquidity a lot more clear. These are all liquidity. So market makers want to get some stops hit before going back up. Okay, so this right here, I'm going to actually fix that a little bit. So I just put it right there, 81.25. We're now testing an equal low. It's not the most equal low, but it is there. This is equal low or relative lows. So there's stops here underneath, okay? But this is what I'm interested right there. I'm going to get rid of this. Okay. So we're reaching, and we will reverse. So on the 5 minutes, measured move target, we're just tested the measured move target and went 1 tick below it, so we're done with this. So that's why I said hang on to it. So we got a spike, pull back, and we have a channel. Now what does this mean? If I actually measure this, I can either measure from there or here. We're going to end up going up here, okay? When the bulls finally arrive, we're going to eventually go up here and we're going to sell from there, okay? So measured move target met. We have 3 push wedge here, 1, 2, 3 here. So we have nested wedges. And then we have also this going on. But if you look at a bigger picture, well, I can't really see anything there, but all I see here is that trend line. Okay, so now we start to print better signal bars here to buy. Okay, so I'm still not interested in doing anything. I'm going to wait for this bar to close. Now, market came all the way down to, I said, 0625. Where did we test? Okay, we tested 06. No, we did test 06. Did we just do 0625? Wait a minute. Oh my goodness. Holy cow. I mean, I know I'm accurate, but now I'm scared a little. Okay, I think I'm scared a little. So this is pretty good. I mean, I hope you guys held it all the way to 0625. And that right there. Okay, so now market is taking profit. All right, so now I'm interested going long, but I need to wait for the bar to close. I'm scaring myself there, Zzw, so you're not alone. I mean, I didn't expect maybe it would go, maybe, I don't know, I thought maybe it would fail a couple of ticks, but okay. We'll take it. Now we have a pin bar. The question with these pin bars, it's got a good body. Okay, so its lower wick is a lot bigger than the body itself, but doesn't matter. It's a good close, good body. Normally, I don't like to buy these pin bars. Okay, but look, that's actually a second entry now. Bulls tried once and they're trying twice. Or you could say, no, this is the first entry after this wedge. I'm going to wait for a second entry because chances are 50% of its body buyers are waiting. So measure that bar 23 and look to see if at the 33% pullback or 50% pullback buyers are waiting. Now, if this bar closes, bar 24 actually closes on its side as a second bull bar, obviously they're going to buy it. But for pin bars, I like to see a little bit of pullback a little bit, okay? Okay, so now we went above it. So this is probably going to go up. Where can it go? It's probably try to go up to first 20, 41.20 or 19.75, and then it will probably going to continue up to 21.50, but I think we will test 2375 eventually. So let's see, first target scalp is 20, 41, 20, or 1975. I scalp that. Now, if we can continue go up, the next is we're going to try to get to 2150, but we should overshoot towards 2375 for bulls. Pay yourself here and take profit means the same thing, but then also saying, hold on. No, wait, hold on a minute. I say those things in context. I don't say them all together. I call my targets and I hold you towards that target. And I tell you, you can take profit at those levels and pay yourself, okay? But if it's going to continue, I have additional targets to the downside when I was calling for those bears. Then I'm saying you can hold it towards by keeping a runner. That's what I mean. You always have to pay yourself, especially in a market like this with ATR. Look at the ATR. At one point, it was over 20 points, or maybe just 20. But when market is, bars are 20-point long, it's telling you that it's going to go that long, up or down. Don't you want to scalp out? Unless you have a big account and you want to swing, sure. But we're in a bear swing, and I'm measuring and I'm giving you targets. And when I say you need to pay yourself, you need to pay yourself. Because it's going to bounce there, and that bounce could be a 10-point bounce. Do you want to be stuck in that 10-point bounce? So you could have a runner, but you may end up waiting 10 points bounce and then going back to your way again. Nobody wants to be stuck in that. No, I totally understand. When I first started, I didn't understand. I get so frustrated. It's like, am I buying? Am I selling? What am I doing? But once I start to measure and get my targets, then things started to make sense. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys something, measuring, but I have to warn you, it has nothing to do with L. Brooks' teaching, so that you know exactly what I'm doing here. I'm going to delete everything, okay? Gone. So just pay attention to here so you know exactly how I got my target. You see this right here, 14? I kind of gave you guys the clue. And we're stuck in this with bunch of, the part of the L. Brooks teaching is that, what does L call? Okay, certain bar combinations, inside, inside, or inside, outside, inside. Look, inside, outside, inside, or outside, inside. So we know there's a breakout coming, right? But knowing where the breakout is coming with these inside bars formations, and then getting your target, two different things, okay? Yes, we're going to get a breakout. We already know. Price is going down, so that's the trend, right? That's the direction. But you also need to calculate, just like the machines do, okay? You can either say, okay, so I'm going to sell this. Maybe I'll grab a 5 points. That's fine. That's one way to find your target. Or I'll go for 10 points. That's one way to find your targets. Or I'm going to sell around here, or at the high or the close of bar 16 with a limit order, grab a 2 points, and then have a runner. But you still need to know where these bars can turn around, right? So if you actually measure this bar right there, I'm going to show you guys once, and I will not do this again. So I have a bunch of inside bars, and I'm measuring because I'm looking for a breakout, either from the upside or from the downside. Look at the breakout, right? Bar 19 broke down. Where do you think the bars are going? First target, second target, third target. Have I not called those? Why was I so accurate right there? See how I measured it? So basically, all you have to do, okay, I'm looking for a measured move target, the size of that bar's range. Look at that. 0625. Now, is it that scary now? There's nothing to be scared about when somebody calls a target and it meets to the tick. That's because that person is measuring. It's a measured move. Basically, this is an L. Brooks teaching. This bar broke the range of this bar, encapsulated bunch of other inside bars. When L says II or OI or IOI, he's telling you, okay, it's not a riddle. He's telling you breakout is coming. And if there's a breakout, there's a small range there, and that's your measured move target. Whether you find your target that way or you want to scalp along the way, and this is what I do. I scalp there, I scalp there, I scalp there, and I'm done. And then I can reverse it and buy. If I see 1, 2, 3 push wedge, I'm going to buy it, or I'm going to buy somewhere maybe 50% or 33% pullback, and I'm going to keep, scalping around there if it goes up there, whatever. So yeah, so that's how you measure it. Okay, but really it's a measured move. I like to measure because I'm a control freak. I like to know where the price is going, where it's going to turn around, what the machines are seeing. I need to see what machines see. So at least I can get close 50% of what they see. That's good enough for me to make money, from the markets. So I'm not reading the future. There's nothing witchcrafty about it. It's just measuring. That's all. I use L's teachings and I apply, the tools that this application gives me. I don't even need it. It's a measured move target, 1-to-1. ATR is big, so it's going to move. So let's see, how much did they move? That's 18 points, right? It's a little bit more than 18 points. Well, what's the ATR? ATR is 925 times 2. It's 18, almost 19 points. It's telling you it's going to go down. That's about 19 points right there. Take out a tick, take out another tick, take out the tick here if you get filled, take out another tick here to get filled, so it gives you about 18 3/4, just about, times 2. Times 2. So what now? Let me squeeze this chart a little bit. Now I want to show you guys that chart again. Okay, look. 1, 2, 3 push. There's probably a wedge there somewhere. 1, 2, 3, maybe 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, double bottom, and it reverses. Now, can we get this reversal? I don't know. But we now have 3 bear bars. 3 bull bars. Okay, and they are a bunch of dojis, but look how they opened and closed. 24 opened where 23 closed, and it closed above of its high. So it's stair-stepping, right? So we could get another leg up after coming down. Maybe market is looking for possible higher low trend reversal. We don't have that yet. So we have a nice wedge. I'm going to look to see if I can actually get solid targets. I do see it. So I'm going to take it from here to there. We're definitely going to test this, okay, trend line, and we're probably going to get above that trend line. So that trend line is target. So if you buy and hold, that trend line is target. Or if I measure this, and if you bought above this, say you bought, so you're looking for maybe a 5 point, that 7 point, 5 point is right there. they might take profit there, but because ATR is a lot more than 5 points, we might end up going to 10 point. 10 point is just above that trend line. But look where that body of bar 26 is slowing down. 5 point is right there. Okay, so it's trying to get there. So that's 1650. Actually, I'm wrong. Let's come down a little bit. Right there. So it came very close to the 5 point, but these bulls have not. Did they make 5 point? They actually did make a 5 point, sorry. So that's 475. That's it. They actually did make 5 point, and that's why it came down. So if this is a pullback now, bulls are probably gonna look for another 5-pointer, okay? And we might end up going to a 10-point area, which is right there. But right now, they're taking profit because bar 25 high actually is testing that 5-point scalp. So this is a now pullback, and we might get that second leg up to the trend line. Can this continue to go down? Well, look at Globex chart, right? So today is an outside down day. Okay, so we've tested the high, and then, I mean, look at this, how bearish it is. Bears could be trying to close the gap, okay, trying to come down. Now, buyers could be right here at the 50%, because this is a pin bar also, okay? This is an outside down day, so that means, look at the Globex, right? So we're up, we're down, but I think this is too much selling. We might sell a little bit more if this isn't good enough. We could end up going to that trend line and then reverse yet again, because we have a magnet here, August open. But we need a second leg up to the trend line. So if you actually measure this, this could be that 50%. Let me see. Yeah, 50% buyers right there. Look at the Globex chart right there. So now, if the bulls can close that Globex bar bullish, then we would continue. But I like to see it closed. There's not much. My bar timer. Okay, here we go. It's back. So there's only 4 minutes left. Not much time left. If they do close this 15-minute bar bullish, we could get another bull bar and continue to go up. Or we could just go up and then get rejected at the trend line and come back down. So if you're not really satisfied and you're not really feeling the bulls here, don't buy. Just wait. Just wait for a double bottom, higher low, something. Because we could still break the low of 23 and continue to sell into the magnet at 41.05. Okay? So that's when I use 15-minute bars to see whether or not, okay, bull pressure is in. I don't see it. All the bulls could do was a 5-point scalp above, buying above 23, and that's all they got. So there's not much bull pressure here. This is still a pullback, okay? We could still get a second leg up. So I'm going to wait. So those who bought one tick above 23, their stops are underneath 23, or they have a wide stop, and they're assuming that we're going to end up going up to the 20 EMA. But market is very bearish. I mean, look at this, right? So we do have a spike pullback channel. We will go up. Not only this is the target for bulls, this is the target also. So I'm going to put it there. So we will eventually get up there. But I need to see a higher low first or lower low. That could be a lower low trend reversal. So that would give you a 4-push wedge before going up. Wedges can be 4 pushes. See what happened to the 50%. They bought it. Machines bought that 50% pullback, but no more buyers in the market. If they cannot push the market higher, maybe it's best to wait for that bull bar close before you buy anything. So bulls are looking for a second entry long. If you count from the lows, this was the first entry long. That's why it didn't go further. We're looking for a second entry long, a qualifying bar to buy above. Okay, so we don't have that yet. Now, if you look at the entire day, okay, so we have a bit of a problem with this bear move down. This right here is the problem. Okay, yes, we have a beautiful, okay, move down here, but this right here weakens a strong, another maybe breakdown. I think we're going to end up going into some kind of trading range, and then we could go right back up. So I think the sellers are waiting at the EMA or above the EMA, so we would get a bigger trading range, but they will sell. They will sell at the EMA regardless. Okay, so, but the selling may not be too strong. Okay, so the trend line is target, so now we have a higher low, reversal, wedge, double bottom, higher low. Okay, so if you buy one tick above 27, grab a couple of points here, okay, if you can, because we could still reverse down if this is not good enough. But this is the second entry. If this bar closes bullish, then we're probably going to break above, but there's a small trading range here, okay? And market is going to try to trap the buyers, okay? And also this trend line is a problem. So we could get another bear bar. And you're trying to buy above a bear body 27, and that's not good. You want to see at least a good bull close. It's technically a second entry long, but look what happened. Those who bought above bar 27, above a bear bar, right around a top of some kind of a trading range, limit order sellers are waiting. But I'm not basing my limit order by this bar. I'm basing it by these two bars. So limit order sellers were above 26, okay, or at the high of 26 now. So you got to watch where you're buying or whether or not it's qualified to be a good second entry. It's not a good second entry. If you bought it, you just have to get out very quickly. Say you bought one tick above, you filled at 20. Where are you going to scalp? If you get filled at 41.20, your scalp is 21. But it needs to go up one tick above 21, meaning 21.25, to fill everybody's 1 point scalp. Market couldn't even do that. But it did reach the trend line. So trend line is still acting as reversal, but you really don't need to use this. You already knew this is the trading range highs and the limit order sellers with two bars. They're waiting up there. So second entry is one thing, but the quality of that second entry is the most important thing to me. So there is still a magnet here that market still wants to perhaps test it. But let's see if bulls can actually trap the bears here. Bulls kind of trap themselves a little bit with this bar, but I'm waiting for this bar to close. It's still a higher low. Now, bulls want to see this bar close on its high, preferably closer to the high of bar 27 wick, okay? Then they will probably going to enter again to go long, along. We could go all the way up to 41.30 or maybe even 41.35. and then sell there. Okay, so we did reach the objective, which was the trend line, but we need to close a bull bar above the trend line and open a new one to keep going up to the EMA and to this target right there. Anytime you have a trading range, okay, more than 3 bars, you got to trade it as a trading range. There's sellers there, there are buyers here, okay, buyers there. But this is a big bar now. First entry, second entry, they're trying to get a traction break out of this. There might be some sellers here, but we do have a room to go up now. Okay, so let's see if we can push towards, if they can break out of this right here. Struggling a little bit. Nothing. Machines see this as this is a bar, 28 is a trap at the high of this small trading range. So they're selling with limit order the close of anything they see bullish. Okay, but this is still a some kind of higher low. So I'm watching to see how this bar is going to close. If it closes bullish and closes above the trend line, now we're going to have a higher probability going and closing this gap, this bear gap, and we're probably going to go up here. So 41, what is it? 4130-ish. Let's see if we can push there. 4129, 4130-ish. But bulls need to close that body bullish, not bearish. Because technically we did not break this structure, so the stops are still here. Those who bought above here or maybe there, their stops are here, not here. Okay? Once we have a bull close above this high, 25 high, or this high or that high, then the stop's going to move up because that's going to probably push the price higher. Okay, so now my target is 2350, 26, 41, 26 is possible. No, I'm not using 14. I'm using ATR 4 or 5. To the person who asked. 41.26 is still target, but first they're going to take profit here, 23.50. So you should see an upper wick coming down because why? It's also trading range highs, bigger trading range highs. Bears want to see a double top with bar 20, but they're not going to get it. This is going to continue up. I'd like to see a 41.26 test, but I really would like to see 41.29 test. All right, so I want to see bulls take us to the 41.29 and instead take profit there. But first 26. See how they're testing the highs? Bears want a double top. They might be getting that double top. Look how accurate it is. Look how right there to the tick. But I think they're going to fail. We might pull back a little bit, but I think this is where we're going. And the EMA, of course. Bulls are trying to close this gap. And if they do close a bear gap, that's going to be good for the bulls, okay? And this is the bear gap. So they fail to actually breach one tick inside that bear gap. So that bear gap is still intact. So I like to see bulls go in and test the 26. Where is that? Right there. And then keep going up. Bears want to have a double top and they want to continue come down, but I think we're going to find support at the trend line and then go right back up. Now, we do have a bar 29 breaching this high, but it didn't close. So stops are still here, okay? So the bulls are still not out of the woods. This is still not bullish enough. We are not breaking these small structures. So it's making a double top instead. But there is a small, okay, inverse head and shoulders. Bulls should not allow this area violated. If the bears close a bear bar here, you do not want your stop to be hit. You want to get out, okay? Bulls should stop these bears and not allow any breach of this area. Otherwise, they can quickly come here and even sell further down before going up. Okay, so you see what happened here? We could not go one tick inside that gap. That means bears are trying to keep the gap open so that bear pressure is intact. And now I'm going to mark that again. Watch this area. Super important. Okay, you do not want to see bears breaching this. This is support, basically. And this is bear gap. We're trimming that trend line. It's very important what's happening here. Bears see a double top. They want to sell this. But I think it's better to sell at the EMA with a wedge bear flag. Maybe go up and then maybe sell. Okay? So I'm watching this area. It's very important. I want to buy it. There's a, good reversal up to this area that could give me actually about 10 to 13 points. But I need to see bears fail here. So swing bulls might be seeing something here, but we do have a magnet here that we left behind, which is August open. And I'm still flat. If this doesn't want to go up, I am not going to buy it, obviously, right? So now, can you sell it? It's kind of dangerous because this area could hold the bears above this level, and it could reverse right back up. So if I sell this, I could be stuck in there as well. So I'm just going to wait. See how the bears just came in and tested that area that I said it's important? Why is it touching to the tick and then bouncing? Well, there's that reason alone. That's how an inverse head and shoulders work, right? So you do not want to see that breached. Even if it can breach with a wick, and then it closes above, that is a trap. Bears trapped, and the bulls just take it over and just go up. So that's why you sit and wait for the setup to set up. All right, I'm going to be done with my session. I just noticed the time. If you have any questions, I'll take a couple of questions and then I'll go, because I got a ton of work to do. You are welcome. Question here, hey Rose, would this not be considered a 20+ bar under the moving average? Sell the moving average, forget the, okay. So yes, but we do have still a gap to the EMA. We're pretty bearish, okay. Market is kind of rotating, or it's trying to rotate, but it's not ready to buy yet. Okay, that's why I put this trend line here. We need to close above this trend line with bull bodies. We only have one, and it failed. Now, what you're talking about, get rid of that, is when market is trading 20+ gap bars. Let me see if I have hold on. Let me post something from the book. I have L's book in PDF. Sometimes I take snippets from there. So hang on a minute. Let me see if I can open that. Okay, so give me 2 seconds. Let me so read this or take a screenshot. Okay, so we still have that gap. Okay, and now we breached this area. So this is no longer, this is now a double top bear flag with the gap open, and this is still target. Lows are target, and bears want to breach that. Sorry. We still have the gap. So you have to wait for market to go up to the EMA. Okay, and then you can look to sell maybe a double top or 2 bars or maybe a 1 single bar. It's probably going to sell. So that hasn't set up yet. Okay, so this will help you. Okay. All right. So now that double top was what bears were looking for, and they got it. So now you could say for bears, this was the first entry. This is the second entry short. That's a bear flag. So testing the lows, and they want to break down from there and continue to come down. But the target is 41.05. So now you understand why I didn't want to buy. There was a small structure, no breakout of the structure. Okay. And bulls got trapped there. Double top. It's kind of a bear flag, but what I call this, it's not a bear flag, it's bear flat. There are 3 types of flags. Okay. The actual flag itself makes 1, 2, and 3 push wedge, and then goes. It tests the high first. Sometimes it fails from the highs, doesn't need to break out, but generally breaks out and gives you a measured move. That's 1. And for the bears, okay, that's this. Right? Do you see this? No, we don't have that. The second type is what I call is a bull flat or bear flat. The channel is flat. So for the bears, it's like this. Okay, goes like that, breaks, and then sells with some kind of measured move. So you look for a double top. You see that flat channel? That's a flag. So it's breaking. It's probably going to come up, and then it might sell again. The third type of flag is spike, pullback, channel. Again, could make a 3 push wedge, then goes up right there where that channel began, and then it sells. So spike, pullback, we're in that channel still, and we're trying to make that 3 push wedge still. Another wedge. We had 1, 2, 3 wedge here. Spike, pullback. That's why I marked that. Okay, so we're coming down with yet another. So it could be truncated wedge. Okay, truncated wedges are maybe like that, and then you get like that. So like that. Okay, so they weren't ready to turn around. You know, I can't force a trade. I marked that gap area, and I said, there's a gap there. As long as bears maintain that gap, we may not be able to go. And look, I said, we'll break out of this trend line, but we're probably going to come back there. No bulls showed up there. Normally, you want to see bulls showing up, but this is so bearish. So bears are going to try to sell with flags, whatever they can get their hands on to. There are 3 types of flags. So try to remember those scenarios. So they came down and tested, and they actually breached it with 1 tick. There's still a target here. It's probably going to come down a little bit more. Okay, so I'm not really interested in buying anything yet. 4105 is still magnet. So they just needed to pull up a little bit to sell, okay? Bears like to sell the pullbacks if the market is already at discounted prices. Nobody wants to sell low. Nobody wants to sell something that is already discounted and not be able to make money. So best way to sell, look for a pullback, maybe with a double top, and then sell that. And your second entry would be from the lows. That's the first low. We made low. And that's the second low. Bar 30 is a good bear close and breach the prior bar's low. So you could actually sell the close or sell the 30. You would look for maybe, I don't know, 5 points. Oh, wow. So, well, I shouldn't be looking for 5 points. I forgot. Market is, ATR is a lot more than 5 points. So 10 points. And look how accurate it is. They're right at the 10 point. So they're scalping. All right, so I would mark this as target met 05 to the tick. So now I'd like to see, will the bulls show up here? Major objective is meeting, but I'm not ready to buy anything unless I see a good buy signal bar, right? So what is this? This is also, oh, another type of flag I forgot to say. Actually, this will be the fourth kind of flag, and that would be expanding triangle. And then it goes up like that, and it comes down. So that and that. So this would be one type. The other one would be, okay. So it just goes up, comes down, goes up, and then comes down. And you want to see a reversal. That's the apex of the triangle. You want to see bulls get above it and then go up. That will be the fourth type. So we're in that fourth. First, we had the flat breaking down, but you could also say, well, what if this is a expanding? That's fine. Expanding triangle will give you a good target if you don't want to measure. Either or. All right, so I am done with my session, everyone. Let's talk about where can this go. So we are selling, but it's just, I don't think we're going to get a huge sell-off anymore. I think we're going to end up going and testing maybe these highs. We might even get a small pullback bull trend, okay, for lasting couple of hours. I'm going to look at the encyclopedia and see if I can find some charts, okay, for you guys. Right now, this trend line is holding, but I'm going to get rid of it now. It's still selling, but it's not that strong, okay? Look at the sell. Okay, so this is good breakout, continuation. And then we got some continuation, but look what happened here. We started to make, okay, print, consecutive bull bars, 2 legs, right? Look at this breakout. This is a breakout, but it's failing to break out there. Now, bar 30 and 31 are good bear closes, but what's up with bar 32? That should not have happened. We should have had another bear bar, right? Strong. We're not having that. And that's because of this. So this is kind of weakening a strong another bear breakout. You know, I don't want to say something and then it just breaks out. I doubt it. So because I've seen this before. So it's going to go probably up to the EMA and it's probably going to want to sell there. But if that fails and we make a 3 push wedge again, now we're going to go up. Or soon, very shortly, we do have a lower low major trend reversal, possibly. We have 3 push wedge or another 3 push. Now we have a double bottom, okay? And I mean, we can finally get that 10 bars, 2 legs to EMA, but I would still look for some kind of pullback there. Maybe come down, make another higher low, and then we would get another small pullback bull trend. We could try. So right now, I think bulls are ready, okay, to go back up to the EMA finally. So you could say, well, we made a new low. Would that be by high 1? You could say that, or you could say this is high 1, high 2, and this is high 3, but we made a slight 1 tick low, but it really is not that significant. So I think we're going to start to get some moves up finally. So for the small pullback bull trend, you want to see a couple of bull bars with good bull closes stacking. And the pullbacks are only maybe a 1 bear bar, and then immediately that pullback bar is being bought, another couple of bull bars, and then maybe 2 bear bars, but it keeps going up. So that could last about an hour or 2. There's a trading range now from there to possibly there. There's a smaller one, but we're going to break above that. EMA is right there. Bulls are going to want to close this bear gap and then continue to go up to that target. So we'll see how this goes. So I'm assuming we're going to get some kind of 2-legged move. We do have limit order sellers are probably waiting there and waiting there. Bulls have to do some good, like they need to show us some couple of bars closing on their highs or stacking. Smaller the better. You don't want to see big bull bars suddenly. You want to see good bull closes like this, 70, 71, 72, maybe like this, you know what I mean? Or like this, small but steady. And then you buy the pullback. That's what you want. You want to see steady buying. 10 bars and 2 legs, possibly to the EMA. Okay, so we have 2 bars. Bar 33 actually closed the body strong and above bar 32, so that's good. But they need the 3rd bull bar to attract more buyers. And then we can possibly go up to 41, 22, or 24. Sellers are waiting there. But I like to see bulls actually push all the way to 41.35. So they got to do better here. Could this sell? How about bears? What can they do? They're going to have to print a really strong bear bar, break this, and then get a measured move down. If they want to continue to sell this into this measured move or August low, okay, low of August is right there, then that's fine. Or do they want to close that gap and maybe come down all the way to that moving average, which is 100th SMA, 100-day moving average? Well, they're going to have to print that 5-minute bar as a breakout bar. Now, look what just happened here, guys. What did I say earlier? If bears want to sell this, they need to go somewhere up here and make that right shoulder. They couldn't even get up there. They couldn't even close the gap. They ended up selling right there. But this is the left shoulder head, right shoulder, and they're selling. They're actually breaking the neckline. They can come up, down here, and then bounce. So they're pushing still. You see how that, I said it looks like if it looks like a duck and if it sits like a duck, it's probably a duck, right? So if it looks like a head and shoulders, and I kept saying that since yesterday, maybe since Monday I've been saying it. I think they're trying to make the right shoulder. But I really wanted them to go up here. We all hoped that they would go up there, but hey, listen. We had a valid reason today with Feds and Jackson Hole and, you know, the consumer sentiment, with all these news that came out. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of, you know, they were looking for a reason to sell. So, and this is also the second leg, right? Leg one, leg two. I think we're going to get some kind of reversal eventually, but I think we're trying to close this gap here. So keep an eye on that, and I'll tell you where that is. That is 93.92. 40.92 we could actually test. Now, what about the measured move? Well, that's not the measured move, so what is the measured move? Okay, so they need to close this bar really bearish, and then they can sell. So would this be the new wedge then? 14.23. Sure. Maybe like that. I don't know. Market is still pushing. It's not ready to buy. That was a good effort, 32 and 33, but we have a new low now. And if they do close this bar 34 with a strong bear body, some bulls will buy, okay? They already bought underneath this bar. And I bet L was one of them. If he's trading today, he probably bought that. But he, you know, they couldn't go further. They couldn't print that third bull bar. So you could have waited for that third bull bar to see some kind of bearishness. Well, they printed here, but they got the second leg, but it failed. We couldn't even print anything. But they're still buying, maybe 2 points below, 5 points below, 10 points below. They're still buying underneath bar 23 low. Now, I'm watching how this bar is going to close. If it closes strongly bearish, we have a chance that this could come down further. But I know that there are buyers here. They're buying. I don't think we're going to get a major breakdown again. I think we're going to get a major breakdown again. The only thing for bears I'm looking at is that gap. Can we close it? And that's what they're trying to do. So bar 34, it has a lower wick. It's not a good breakout bar, is it? Russ. Sorry, I've been saying that a lot lately. I should stop saying that. Good, Doug. I don't see strong breakouts, but market is still pushing lower. So now I'm going to wait for that wedge. 1, 2, and 3. But I think the now we have been sailing straight 3 hours, and we're now we're inside a buy zone. Buyers could be here at the 4101 or maybe even 4100, which is the round number. So market sold almost 105 points today. Can it recover? It could perhaps go to EMA and sell again, or we might end up going 50% up. But I think the sellers are waiting heavily at the EMA at this point. So even if I buy, I'll probably be done at the EMA and take profit. I don't see anything to buy. We'll keep making new lows. The gap close is the target, like I said, 92, 40.92, which is right here. So we could push perhaps and get some kind of exhaustion finally. Then I'm going to look for reversal up, also a new head and shoulders. Maybe up to here, up to there, maybe even here, but that's about it. All right. You guys have a great day. I will see you guys next week. And I think Monday I'm booked again. Well, let me take a look. Yes, the 29th. And then L is on Tuesday. So I'll be in the Discord because I do want to trade the reversal for sure. There's enough space here for me to make some good money. So I'll be calling my entries in Discord. All right, bye everyone.